And with that, the 2022 season comes to an end. We have accomplished a lot this year, and we're excited to share our top 10 favorite desks. Projects.
I don't even know that these are our
DIYs.
favorite, but these are our top 10 biggest.
Definitely the biggest. And we're going to list them from least to greatest.
All of these projects are going to be linked in the description box down below, whether on YouTube or on TikTok. It's going to be there. But coming in at number 10 is when we painted our hutch that's in our kitchen area. So this was a really fun project for us to do. We learned a lot. We got a new paint sprayer when we did this project. I'd had this hutch in my home for quite a few years. It came from my parents, but we needed to update it to actually match our home. It was cream. It just blended in with the walls. It was really fun. Yeah. It brought a lot of impact to our kitchen living room space since it's all an open area, but it
just
wasn't,
looks better. Yeah,
it looks way better. It wasn't the most impactful thing we've done all year. We did learn a lot with the paint sprayer.
Yeah, but that's why it's number 10. Coming in at number 9 is the deck stairs that I built this summer. This wasn't something that we did on our YouTube, but you can check it out on our TikTok. I was hired to do this back in the summer, and it was impactful for me because I had to learn a new skill in how to actually build stringers. I could have bought them pre-made, but I chose to make them my own. And there were several mistakes that were made, but it turned out really well. I have since seen them. They are painted the same color as the deck, and I think they look fantastic. I think next time though, I'll probably buy the stringers pre-made and go from there. But I'm really proud of that one.
I wasn't a part of that project, but I have seen the work and it does look really wonderful. So great job.
Thank you. Moving on to number 8 is the floating desk with shelves that I built back in November. This was for a different client. She had this little nook in her apartment that she wanted to have a floating desk and some shelves. And so she wanted white oak, or at least the appearance of white oak, and but didn't want to have to pay for actual white oak, which white oak can be expensive, but it's really nice wood. And so I just used 3/4 inch plywood and then Rubio Mono Coat. Great product, great finish. I used their cotton white finish, and it gives the appearance of a white oak, and it looked fantastic. I was really proud of that one as well, just because of how built in it looks. A lot of these jobs as well are from an app called TaskRabbit. I started doing that back in the summer, and so we've gotten a lot of business on that, but also business repeat customers, people that have asked. She's a repeat customer, has asked me to come back and do other things, and I'll be working for her in the new year as well. That's why we have so many of these projects that aren't on YouTube or aren't in our home.
It's a little bit more difficult for him to film when he's by himself.
Yeah. So well, except for it's on TikTok. So like most of that stuff is on TikTok, and you can see that. It's easier to film on TikTok. But anyways, that was number 8, the floating desk. Coming in at number 7 is another project that I was hired to do by a friend. It's an epoxy L-shaped desk.
It's massive.
It is a massive desk. And it took several months to do. We kind of took our time with it, but essentially it's just this L-shaped desk with epoxy, an epoxy river that runs through it. I'm proud of it just because of how big of a project that was, and it was my first time doing something that big, and for my friend as well, it was his first time as well. So.
And it's ended up like, is it in New Jersey or somewhere?
It's in New York. It's for
so cool.
A surgeon. She hired him, or like reached out to him and wanted him to build it for him, and he asked me to help with the epoxy stuff. It's a really cool project to put to my portfolio, to put to our portfolio for people to see. So would I ever build an L-shaped desk, epoxy desk again? Probably not, because
you would do just a regular.
I would do a regular
epoxy.
desk, but that was
really difficult.
Yeah, there are a lot of tools that I wish I had at my disposal at the time, and so it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult when you don't have certain tools. So yeah, but that's number 7, the L-shaped epoxy desk.
Next up, we have number 6, which is the pantry and floating shelves that we added into our kitchen area. So we used to have this metal rack that just held all of our groceries out, and you could see it, and it was ugly. You could see all the packaging and all the things. So I tasked Justin with creating a little nook. It can kind of be a coffee nook. You can change it up if you want to with the space. But we added a cabinet with 2 floating shelves above it, and I really, really, really like how this looks. It brings so much more joy to our living room area and our kitchen area because you can see it from here, so there's not just a bunch of random packaging that's out. Justin did a great job at executing it. We found the cabinet at like the Goodwill rehome store, so we didn't really have to build the cabinet or anything crazy like that. but we ended up making it look like it's built in. There is still a small portion that we do need to kind of finish. We created a wine storage area off to the left-hand side, and so we still need to paint that and then add the trim back to the base. But once we finish that, it will be fully completed, but I really do like how it works with our space.
So number 6 is our pantry. This one was hard to put at number 6, but that just means that we're really proud and happy of the next several. So
yeah.
Let's move on to number 5. Number 5 is the epoxy table. This is something that I kind of just decided I wanted to do back at the beginning of the year. We had a slab that we bought from a local wood shop here in Nashville, and it kind of sat downstairs for over a year. Didn't really know what to do with it. And I saw some videos online and some pictures, and I thought maybe I should just make like an epoxy coffee table. And so that's what I did. Back in January, I started that process. You can see the full build down in the description box below, and there's also TikTok videos of it. It's one of those projects that you don't know what you're doing when you start out, and then when you do it and you learn all of the techniques, you kind of feel like you could do it again. Not necessarily a professional, but something that you can add to your portfolio and say like, I did that. I'm super proud of that, and I'm ready for the next build. So that's number 5, the epoxy table. Moving on to number 4. This is another project that Jess was not a part of. It was, I was hired through TaskRabbit to do some floating shelves, and then he rehired me again to do this. This number 4 is an antique door. So this was for an Airbnb here in Nashville, and there's a kitchen space that this guy has, and he lives downstairs, and there's a door that leads to the basement. Then there's an exit door, if you can kind of picture that. And he wanted to take the door that leads downstairs and put that door between the kitchen and that little corridor space. I took the door off of the door and the casing, the frame, all of that stuff. I took it out and repurposed it, put it in that little nook space, that little corridor. And then there's a couple of antique doors down in his basement that we found. And I was like, why don't we just use this? So I did have to like kind of custom fit it to that entryway, just because it was a little bit wider. And so I had to rip down the door a little bit and then trim some of the casing. But that was another one of those projects where I had no idea what I was doing. And as far as I know, the door still is there and it still works. Just another one of those that I'm just really proud of.
We have our top 3 now. Number 3, Justin did do most of this. I did help out a little bit, but...
Oh, you helped out a lot.
Justin built these bookshelves. He was hired by a client. They wanted to transform their office space, and he built basically wall-to-wall bookshelves on 2.5 of their walls, I would say.
Yeah.
So the part that I was able to help with was I was able to design the bookshelves.
You learned SketchUp.
Yeah, I learned SketchUp. I use it on my iPad, so it's a really great tool to have in my toolkit as well.
Without Jess, I would not have been able to do it. If I can't see it in my head or on a piece of paper, I can't do it. Like, I've got to be able to like visualize it in order for me to feel like I can do this. And so I knew this was going to be a job that was going to be, it had to be the both of us. Definitely when I was finished with it, once we wrapped it up, definitely one of those jobs that I was incredibly proud of. Doing it by myself, I did tell them it would probably take about 3 weeks, just because we were down to 1 car at the time, and so I had to drop her off at work.
Yeah.
And so my time was limited, but also like I didn't want to say, I'll be done with it in a couple days, and then like a month later I'm still working on it. So I was realistic with the time frame, but once I was able to complete it, it was just one of those jobs where I was like, I just can't believe I did that. And I wish I had help because it was just so much. But yeah, there was 67 shelves that were installed, cut, sanded, installed, 10 slabs of 3/4 inch 4x8 birch plywood. Stuff is super heavy, and then all of it was sanded, like I said, and then we finished it with just a warm satin polyurethane. And then we painted the room for them as well, painted the trim, the window seal. They wanted everything to be really dark and moody. And then we also added wallpaper.
Yeah, we did wallpaper on their ceiling.
To the ceiling. So the room looks excellent. They've since gotten all of their books on there. But yeah, that's one of those projects that you kind of walk away from and like, I can't believe I did that. So number 3
that was a complete
the bookshelves.
Transformation of
Yes.
their room. And their decor style is great, so they did a wonderful job. All right, number 2, I didn't really help with too much. I did a little bit of painting for this, but you can talk more about it.
Yeah, really for me, the last three are kind of equal, but
Sure.
like I do have one that's my favorite. This one is, we did a built-in fireplace for another client, and this was one that I told her, like, I'll be done with it in a couple of days, and it took like 2 weeks. But yeah, essentially she had this like electric fireplace, and she just wanted it to look built in and then have a mantle. And she has a frame TV, so I feel like I could do it again. Like if somebody were to call me and say, hey, can you come do that for me? I feel like I would have no problem doing it.
I really didn't help out much with this one besides helping to paint the fireplace. So I did get to see it in person, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Completely transformed her living room from, just a simple plain room to looking very cozy.
And this is a project that I wish we would have filmed for YouTube, but again, for me, it's a little bit hard to film videos and do these projects, especially when it's for another client, because I have to be mindful of their time.
And especially if they're in the house too. When you're filming, it's a little bit more difficult to do that.
It's just easier to throw up my iPhone and, be selective with like, hey, this is going to be a TikTok video and this is going to be a YouTube video.
Sure.
So I'm sorry that we did not make a YouTube video on it. But again, it's down in the description box below if you want to see on our TikTok, the fireplace build. So that's number 2, the fireplace build. And then coming in at number 1, our number 1 project of 2022, that we are the most proud of, is
the bathroom.
The downstairs bathroom that we just completed. This was definitely another challenging project for us, but so happy with how it turned out. So incredibly proud of it and excited to do it again, kind of.
Yeah, there was a lot of new things that we tried. We put down tile for the first time ever. There's so many new things that we tried, so many big ideas that we both had, and we were able to accomplish it. The space looks completely different. There are a few small things I wish maybe we would have added some heated floors down there, but for budget wise, I think it's great. I'm ready to decorate the space. I'm honestly ready to get our whole downstairs looking so good. We need to lay out some floor in our basement, but like having that bathroom as just a really nice spot, it feels like a spa when you go in there, because it's got the walk-in shower.
It's a big statement too.
Yeah, it's very bold. There's so many things I want to do with the space too that are just small decor things. A few small things we still need to fix with it, but I think that's any home. If
anything, all of these projects have taught us a lot, but also built a lot of confidence in us. So for you, I know you probably feel immense confidence in accomplishing that. And like now I feel like I can do it again, or I can do more. And I feel the same way, especially with a lot of like the woodworking stuff. And I just think like I did it for them. Like I could do that here. Like it becomes so much more. That confidence helps you like be more proactive in setting the goals and like setting out to actually do it. And that's been our biggest problem for the past couple of years with a lot of the projects around our house, is just the fear of messing up or not really knowing what we're doing. And sometimes you just have to just take that leap, and similar to the tile that we laid, we procrastinated it for a little bit, and once we actually did it, we were like, oh, this is kind of easy. It's a lot of work, but it's easy. And you get that reward when you finally finish it. It's incredible. Out of all the things that we've done this year, like probably the biggest payoff is the confidence boost.
For sure.
That we've gained.
I used to be so afraid of redoing a full space. Like I used to always dream of wanting to redo a home. I'm still afraid of certain things like electrical and like heating and plumbing. Those things I don't know anything about. I do feel like I could gain some more confidence in those areas. I would really like to at some point. But honestly, I have enough confidence to go out and buy a house and flip it at this point. Like,
let's do it.
I could do floors. I could tear down a wall. I used to be so afraid of doing such big things, but now after doing a few, I'm like, okay, I can do this. Like, if I mess it up, I can fix it. And so we have all those tools in our tool belt now.
And also we have proper work clothes now.
Oh yeah.
We both have some
got our shoes. I don't think I can lift
boots.
my leg up high enough.
Finally got Jess some Carhartt gear. Well, just work wear in general. It was tough watching you work in your yoga pants.
I was wearing just yoga pants. I didn't have any pants that would work. I didn't have any shoes. I just had like old tennis shoes. And I felt so guilty, like purchasing stuff if I wasn't going to be doing it all the time. But honestly, we're doing something once a weekend now at this point. I mean, so
we're trying to be consistent. So yeah. But we do have a few honorable mentions for 2022.
Yes, we do.
The first one is a molding wall, an accent wall that I did back in August. We've done one in our bedroom. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. That was a great project. Really proud of that one. That actually did really well on TikTok. And then the second one is the live edge benches that we did back in May. I built a couple of live edge benches, and I sold maybe 5 or 6 of them over the course of a month. Maybe 1 or 2 in June. So, and then the last one is the epoxy charcuterie boards that we make. We only sold 3 of those this year, maybe 4. Those just look phenomenal. Really proud of how those turn out, and I think they're a little bit more of like a statement piece as opposed to functionality or a functional piece. But
it's more of like a cheese board where you set your stuff on. You don't really cut on it.
But that's it. Those are the honorable mentions, and those are our top 10 most favorite, most rewarding projects of 2022. We're really excited for 2023 and all the things to come, and excited to see where we are this time next year.
I definitely feel more accomplished. We did more projects in 2022 than we did in 2021.
Oh, yes.
And I would like for that to increase next year. I want to do more projects in 2023 than I did in 2021. Doing DIY and doing these projects on my own, like we said, builds so much confidence in us, makes us feel so accomplished. And also, I really love having a nice space that fits us and being able to say, I did that. I did that for myself and not have to pay someone else to do it for me.
So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell and the like button. That really helps us out as well. And thank you for your support in this past year and all the projects. We really couldn't do this without you. And we're just really appreciative and grateful for people watching our videos. Yeah. So until the next time, we'll see you in 2023.
Bye.